said, I want to play myself. And my wife said, no. I'm just joking. I would never do that.
So, live from CPAC, huge. Tim Ballard from The Sound of Freedom. Dude, you're an American hero.
You're kind, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
The Sound of that. What a powerful film. So I love what the studio did with that, because they're like, hey, if you want to support this and buy tickets, I sent in hundreds of dollars worth of those.
You had to pay it forward. Yeah,
absolutely.
Over 100 million people ended up seeing the film internationally.
It was phenomenal.
So it did its job. We opened people's eyes, but now we got to put those feelings into action. And so that's why we're here to.
So what's next?
What's next is we've got to reorganize worldwide how we go rescue these kids. And we've almost perfected the model, and we're bringing it to countries all over the world, including the United States. And basically, it's a private-public partnership. I was 12 years with the government, special agent, undercover operator. And, I always wish I had like a red Batman phone I could pick up and say, look, the bureaucracy is not letting me do X, Y, and Z. Can you do this? Because the time's ticking. And so I've eventually decided, as you see in the film, to become the guy that picks up the phone on the other side, right? Because there's a lot of things as a private organization, institution, we can cut through bureaucracy, BS, and get stuff done quick in partnership with those who have the judicial power, the arrest power, and together we're unstoppable. And we've been proving the model in 20 countries, and it works. And we're hoping to get that model implemented. In fact, Senator Mike Lee, a friend of mine, just the door recently talking about terrorism, and he's a constitutionalist, scholar and attorney, and he said, look, we've done it before back in the Piracy Act. You could give out letters of marque and reprisal that basically allow the government to contract out with privateers who will go in and do what the government maybe can't do as efficiently. And so we gotta apply this. We gotta institutionalize this so that we can take this model to the world, which is the key to rescuing children.
How many children have you saved?
Over 7,000.
Wow.
With multiple organizations, yeah.
Wow. What does it cost you to save a child?
I mean, roughly, it's every case is different, but it's about $15. People, these idiots out there that try to oppose us and say, look, we're not just rescuing a child, we're dismantling an international child trafficking ring. You don't just walk in and
$1,500.
Yeah, you don't just walk in and take the kid out. And it's frustrating. These idiots who are just jealous of our success in the space.
But we're spending $20 million for a new Sesame Street in
exactly. Look at if you lost your child and you want to hire a company to find them, it's about a quarter to $500,000 down payment to get it started. So we're very cost efficient at what we do and how we.
So, oh my God, it's that movie. How did that movie help you? Has it become? Have you gotten a lot more support? Have you grown?
In terms of overall, it's been open doors. I have access to pretty much any president in the world. I even have Vladimir Putin in the middle of the war asked me to come over to Moscow and watch it with him.
Did you?
I didn't. I declined the offer. We were working in Ukraine at the time, rescuing children, and it didn't seem opportune. But look, we can open. We had doors open to us on a personal level. It's been a hell.
A lot of travel.
Worse than that, lawfare.
My God!
I've been sued by these two very corrupt attorneys in Utah who are about to face some very serious consequences for what they've done. One thing they did is they went down to Colombia and took on as a client the female trafficker in Sound of Freedom. Made up a story. You gotta go check out.
What kind of person would do something like that?
These people. There's a lawsuit. They went down and they recruited her to sue me for defamation, saying that I was the trafficker. Literally, they go on the air saying I was the trafficker. Then they went to one of the children I rescued, who's now a young adult, married with a child, and tried to get him to turn on me and sue me. It's all in text messages. And a few months later, they were all convicted. Now these guys are the most hated people in Colombia. But yeah, and then we had to re-rescue the kid.
Are you talking about the Colombians or the lawyers?
The lawyers, the Utah lawyers.
The Utah lawyers were arrested in Colombia or
here? They haven't
been
arrested, but they're under investigation in multiple countries.
That's nuts, man.
Oh, yeah. No, they've destroyed the lives of children in multiple countries by trying to get people to sue me on a false pretense and read the lawsuit.
What kind of dirtbag does something like? Why would they do that?
Well, Sound of Freedom made $350 million. And so they had this wise idea. Wise idea that they thought to go down and recruit the trafficker ahead of her trial. They hadn't been convicted yet, so they go down to and they go to recruit him. So they got the trafficker to me and Angel Studios, but then they made the mistake of going after one of the kids I rescued. Tried to convince him that he was never abused. I mean, this kid was raped at age 9, rescued on the island. He's one of the kids on the island, and this kid saved my life. I mean, they offered him, according to him, I wasn't there, but in the complaint, you can read it. They offered him money. They offered him everything. They tried to scare him, allegedly. And I had to go down to Colombia and re-rescue him. But he rescued me by not taking the offer. But his life's been turned upside down. He's in a safe house now in the United States, and he's launching lawsuits along with some other kids that are coming forward. So, I mean, there's traffickers.
You couldn't make this up if you
couldn't make it up. But it's all go get the lawsuit, and we can read it and we'll talk about it.
What do you have the citation for the lawsuit?
It's it's public record. It's Pedro Flores versus Alan Mortensen et al. There's others involved. Go read it, and you will read.
What court's in
Utah 3rd District. You read it, and then I'll come to Dallas and we'll talk.
We will talk about that.
Yeah, it'll blow your mind.
It's blowing my mind already, man.
That's the tip of the iceberg. It'll blow your mind. And when I get to Dallas, because I'm out there quite a bit, we'll sit down, and after you read it, you text me, and I'll come out and we'll.
I will make
sure maybe I'll even bring.
Swap phones.
Yeah, we'll swap, and I'll tell you the rest of the story. It's mind blowing. I might bring the kid who.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If he's willing.
He might be. We'll see. He's pretty hurt right now. He's lost everything. He's lost his life.
Are you allowed to help him financially in any kind of way?
Oh yeah, we're getting support for him. We're taking care of him. Yeah.
How's Angel Studios doing?
Amazing. Great guys.
Yeah.
Great guys.
I've invested some money with them. They had that investor thing come out. I sent them some money for that too.
Support everything.
I love what they are doing.
Yeah, they're great. They flipped the model.
Yeah.
They've turned Hollywood on its head. And I love it. And they're putting out great content all the time.
They did that one. What was the one with the kid? It was the black kid that was. He kind of got turned around. I don't know if you're watching all their movies.
Sound of Hope.
Was it? I don't know.
I mean, they put out so much stuff.
Yeah, but he basically turned his life around through Christ, and it was a mentorship program. But
yeah, man, they do great stuff. All their stuff is great.
So good. So, are they attacking any other members of your team or?
Oh yeah, Angel Studios got sued. My wife got sued.
Your wife got sued?
My wife got sued for sexual assault. I mean, they'll make up anything. My poor wife. My wife had a foundation called Children Need Families. We had 12 children. We go into high risk areas, high trafficking areas, to get them out of get them families. Those 12 children, thanks to these 2 attorneys and these false accusers, will live in a life of hell forever. Not to mention and what at the end, what do they want? They want the money from the foundations that are rescuing kids. So the destruction they have done to children is incalculable. But they're losing in court, and they'll pay for everything they've done.
As targets, do they have money? Like target lawsuit,
yeah.
Do they have money to get?
Yeah. But we're not ready to talk about it quite yet.
Got it.
And when once that goes public, you'll see where this all started. I'll just give you a hint. After Bedminster with President Trump, actually I did my podcast. He came on my podcast.
Nice.
From Bedminster, and I was gonna help him. I mean, there's probably no one in the world who knows more about trafficking on the border than I do. I spent 10 years on the border as an undercover operator. So I was going to work with him to help him get elected. I also was considering a Senate run. So within weeks of that,
you could get that Senate run probably.
I don't know. I think mostly senators are in golden handcuffs. I need mobility.
So my last guest that I interviewed here, who was talking about the problem is you need people that have money. If you can't afford to lose your Senate job or your government job, then you're so easily corrupted. You're compromised.
That's right.
We need people like President Trump, or people that have got enough money that don't need any financial out of it, that are willing to go in and be less wealthy when they come out, or have passive investments or something that you need enough money to be able to support yourself to where you don't need money for anything, and you can do the work as a servant.
You got to be uncorruptible.
And
that's why the founding fathers. That's why the founding fathers pushed for term limits. There should be term limits.
There should be term
Nobody
limits.
should be able to stay that long and start enriching themselves.
Why are there not
I mean,
term
look at
limits in
Elizabeth
Congress?
Warren. What, she's worth like 14 million, whereas I mean,
No, I think it's much more than that. But
how does that happen? How does a senator make you rich? This is horrible. It's horrifying. That means you're compromised. I don't care. It's it.
it does mean you're compromised.
Yeah.
Can you share anything about the future?
Oh yeah. I mean, right now we are working. Look, we're trying to take we have for the last 2 decades. I've been formulating the best plan to rescue children. I'm talking direct, indirect, education, everything. We finally have this plan put together, and we are now deploying through the world. We've worked in 20 countries, and we are now helping to basically reorganize how things are done to rescue children. And so, I mean, I live on an airplane. We're all over Latin America right now. Big focus on Mexico, Ecuador, Brazil, Guatemala,
Wow.
U.S. Now that we have the right people in place, we'll be, doing a lot more here in the U.S. And we're going to take it to them, man. We're going to take it to them.
God be with you. Thank you so much for what you do.
And let's finish this conversation in Dallas.
We will.
I can talk a lot more in about a month or two.
Perfect.
That'll blow your mind.
And let's keep in touch, man.
Yeah. I'll get your text message.
Absolutely.
We'll connect.
I want to track this story.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
God
much.
be with you. Please,
Thank you.
Please, God, keep him safe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Live from CPAC, Tim Ballard, Sound of Freedom. Thank you. Subscribe. We're going live after a very short break. Turn on your alerts. Have that button on. Stick with us. We got a lot more from you or for you. I'm so moved by what I'm also at a loss of words. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, sir.
And we will see you. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.
Listen.
Thank you so much.
I want
Hold on. I want.